All right, welcome back. Today we're going to look at Krennic ECL. I've changed the layout a little bit that you may have noticed on the screen there. So we're testing out that at the same time. There is the list on screen. I'm just going to link it in chat and make sure it comes up in the chat interface as well. So Krennic was one of my favorite leaders from set 1. And it was a great limited leader, and it also saw some play constructed at the time. This list here was linked from the Galactic, so I found it on there. The guy finished 37th from the Outmaneuver podcast, so I've also linked that in the description of the video. Let me just fix the chat up, and then we'll jump into some games. We're going to do the same games as always, so 10 games straight, and we will see where we will get to. Let me just fix this chat widget up, and then we'll be good to go. All right, let me see that comes up. All right, there we go. Okay, so the interesting thing about this list is that it runs Smuggler's Aid. So Smuggler's Aid is a 3 damage heal for your base only, but it can be smuggled, and it's our activator for Anakin in this deck. So let's jump into some games and see how we go.
Hello there.
All right, so we've got Mother Talzin Red first here. All right, so we'll get the initiative. All right, so we've got a Krennic, we've got a Power, we've got our Vader. So it looks pretty good hand, this one. Only thing we're missing is a bit of ramp. All right, so we need a bit of ramp at some point, but other than that, looks good. So the Scimitar is pretty good as well here. It can hit for 7 in Krennic, so it's +3 when damaged, the extra +1 from the Krennic passive ability. So let's go with that for now. All right, so let's claim. Now, what we can do here as an option is we can just power to keep him off the force. I think that is a decent play. Now, there's a difference between playing Krennic in person and online in something like Carabas, and I'll tell you the difference. The difference is that it will show you the passive ability from Krennic, and in person, a lot of your opponents will not even realize that that there's an extra damage on, let's say, something like Krennic. Okay, so he attack base, and that probably tells me that he has a Darth Tyrannus that's going to come in. So let's get our card draw straight away. Not a Darth Tyrannus, a Talzin Assassin. Okay, so here we can resupply. We can deploy Krennic. So Krennic, being a 5-cost leader with Restore 2, is quite beneficial as well. So I'm going to leave the Smugglers in hand because I'd rather pay 3 than 5 for it. Okay, so we could Vader here, and that will clear the board. So and then we can barrage next turn. This deck does also run Timelies, and the Timelies are great for bringing in our ambush units in the future. Things like Vader. All right, so he's going to be able to remove it, so that's unfortunate, but he has expended a lot of resources to do that. All right, so I don't think we need the tech here. So we're going to be able to remove the Talzin with the Death Trooper. This Death Trooper saw lots of play in set 1, some in set 2. It was the perfect unit to ambush and that in. All right, so we'll just put the scimitar out. All right, and then we will claim. Okay, so we could Snoke here. So let's go with that. The top end here is Avenger, and the Snokes, I think, is the top end here. All right, so he's going to force throw, so we'll give him a Smuggler's Aid, so we don't have to spend that one now. We can see our Snoke is hitting for 7. All right, so now we can claim. All right, so we could Long Pike. Let's get our damage in first and see what our opponent does here. Let's get some Long Pike out. There's no point really playing Snoke at this stage. All right, so we can claim. All right, so the Maul is really good here. Let's clear the Assassin. We'll give a shield to the Night Sister Warrior. So I do like this deck. It is a very tempo-based sort of blue-black. It has a lot of the good removal, but it also you also can play quite aggressively, and that so the games don't really last a long time. You're never going to really go to time with this deck. All right, so let's just keep pushing at this stage. Okay. So what are options here? We could just Snoke in. That would take it to 4. Okay, so he's conceded on that one. We had quite a large card advantage on that. So let's start off with a 1-0. All right, so let's bring that up. Sorry, look. I've messed around with the sources a little bit here, so I want the score. Let's put it up there, and I'll move the subscriber count to the right of it there. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So the format here is, if you're new here, we play 10 games. And I'm just trying to talk through some of my plays and that, and get help from chat where I make mistakes. All right, so we have no first turn plays. So it's a fairly easy mulligan. We can put the Lom and the Timely in. We don't have initiative, so the Governor's not really a great play. So we'll go. All right, so I think we want the Vader. Let's put the Trooper on the bottom, because the Trooper doesn't clear anything here. All right, we'll put the Governor. We didn't get our removal that we were after. All right, let's just play Piet there. He will be forced to kind of remove Piet at some point. All right, so we got a Governor. What's better, an Avenger here or a Barrage? Because we're going to have to probably play the Governor here. All right, let's get rid of that Avenger. Okay, so what don't we want to see here on the 4-cost one? Probably, let's just say Overwhelming Barrage at this stage. Kind of giving away what's in our hand, unfortunately. Alright, let's hit into base. Yeah, let's claim. Alright, so we've got a fairly big top end here. If we barrage, we could get rid of the Pike Sentinel. The problem is if I just deploy Krennic here, he's just going to run in and get a free sort of kill here. So let's try and keep our Piet alive a little bit longer here. I'm guessing that's what he had, is a barrage as well, because he did remove our regional governor pretty quickly there. So I've got 2 decks sleeved up at the moment. This is one of them. The other one obviously is Yoda. And then we've got a PQ next weekend in Adelaide. So deciding what to play. One thing I did notice looking at the SWU competitive results was that there were no Yoda winners again. Exactly what I said about the barrage there, that I kind of suspected that's what he had. All right, so we can drop the Krennic out here. All right, I don't think we want to take a huge amount of damage there. All right, we'll put the timely away because we've got the ECL. All right, so I think we can Vader, kill both of these, and then we can power the dark side next turn. He'll bring Snoke out, and we can just power next turn on that one. All right, so let's claim. Hopefully we get something small that we can, yeah, perfect. Wow, I don't really want to lose the Anakin, but I think I'm going to have to here. All right, hits us with the fell. All right, let's play the Piet again out here. And then we can pass. All right, we'll put the Long Pike in the row. We've got a lot of health to get through. If he has a very large top end, we'll be in trouble. This is okay because we can maul this one back. And our maul still stays alive. And now hits for 8. Right, let's claim. Very much like a mirror here. It would be nice to get the scimitar here. All right, so let's claim. So the Death Trooper can only hit a friendly ground unit, unfortunately. Hey Liam, how are you going? Got your chats up on the screen now. We're kind of in a rough spot here. I think I need to get rid of that. Would have been good if you're guaranteed to play something on the ground. We've got the timely to bring the Vader in. All right, Victor Leader. A super janky Krennic Green was my very first competitive deck. Yeah, I played a lot of Krennic very early on. It's especially in limited. It was one of my go-to decks for set one limited. We the issue with Spark is that stock was very hard to come by, and but luckily where I played, we had a draft league, and that draft league had stock set aside for 8 weeks, and yeah, we were able to keep playing for those 8 weeks, and it was how we got stock basically. Okay, so let's keep pushing. We'll put a shield up there, shield there. Hopefully you can play a ground unit. That was that probably was avoidable. We could have put the shield on the super laser tech there. So that was that was avoidable, that one. If we had to put the shield on there, he wouldn't have been able to ambush as quickly like that, and we could have removed both units going back. There. So, oh well. A learning experience on this deck. It's been a while since I've played Krennic. Okay, so we've got a Piet. We've got some Death Troopers. All right, so let's keep, again, our normal routine against Quinlan here. Is the Death Trooper any good? Probably not, because we're going to leave ourselves on 1 damage. No. Devotion on Krennic is kind of obnoxious. So Liam come 7th with no Avengers, no Super Laser Blast, no Vaders. Cloud City Wingard, Electra stuff. When I was playing in set 1, I started off on Han 1 green, and I didn't have any Falcons, so I used the what do you call it? Those the ambushes. There were 3-4 ambushes in space. Okay, so he's going to. All right. Well, let's just resupply up the chain. We'll hit his base for 1. If he's going to play super aggressive. All right, let's get rid of Snoke. Hi, all things fades. How are you going? Yeah, there was a 3-4 kind of ambusher. Okay. All right, so we can get rid of. It's a shame we didn't have a white spell there. All right, maybe we should have kept no glory there because we're at 5 resources. We want him to use the Tarkin Talent, right? Otherwise, it's too easy later on, and then we can Death Trooper. Hit right, okay. All right, so they're on time, Vader. Wow, okay. Perfect, just what we wanted there. So All Things Fade says new overlay. Yeah, I was messing around this afternoon, and yeah, that this is the result of it. So okay, I don't think we need to. We can just take out the Ahsoka there with Anakin. All right, let's take it. And we'll keep pushing now his base. All right, claim. Yeah, the as attack was the one. So it was a 3-4 ambusher, and that allowed me to play without a Falcon, which was pretty cool. All right, let's put that away. So he's probably going to come out with a Plo Koon here. So the Plo Koon is going to kill Anakin regardless. So let's put the 6 damage on his base. And then we can ambush Vader out next turn. Okay. Well, it wasn't the Vader, but it was, I mean, it wasn't the Plo. Probably going to get hit by the Han here. So let's hit his base for 5. If he plays a Han, we can drop. All right, we'll give him a power. We'll see if he can get out of that. Okay, we'll claim. Yes, a new overlay. I'm still messing around with the settings. Maybe I need the chat messages to stay up there for a bit longer. We did get double Force Throne. All right, so we got the Quinlan. Probably should have got the Snoke the turn before had I accounted for the incoming Maul on that super laser tech. All right, let me look at I'm looking at here. Currently they fade away after a minute, the messages. So let's turn it up to 2 minutes. All right, so we've got a Cal double yellow here. Yes, I knew zero about OBS before I started doing this. So I'm still learning as we go. All right, so he didn't want to play against Krennic. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I was looking at the results on SWU Competitive Hub earlier today. No more Yodas, unfortunately. No more Yoda winners this weekend. All right, we'll keep this. We've got a space. We've got some stuff in space here. Cool. Is the fade away to keep it clean? I don't know. I used Streamlabs and it was like one of the default settings. So that's why it's there. I think we need ramp at this stage. All right, we'll claim. That's good for us. Yeah, it's just I guess it's to keep it clean, but really I don't even mind if it stays. The chat messages stay there. All right, this is turning out quite good so far. All right, we'll resupply here. All right, so we've got the Krennic. He might pilot, or she might pilot this platform here. All right, so what are our options? We can just clear that with a barrage. I think that's probably the way to go there. This Inferno Fall putting in work. One of my favorite cards in all of Star Wars, if you couldn't guess. My actually number 1 card, though, is a card from set 2. The Shadows of the Galaxy, if you can guess what that card is. As soon as it was spoiled, before I even got to play with it, I knew that it was a card that, yeah, that I was interested in. All right, so I think I could No Glory here. Or I could run in and then develop the board with a long pike. What's better? I think we'll just keep developing the board here. Canberra PQ potential a deck. You staying around for Onyx next day as well? Yes, it is a potential for the decks, but we will see for Canberra. Right, he did a shoot down. Because I have 2 decks sleeved up at the moment. This is one of the decks, and the other one is Yoda. I always make sure that I have a couple of decks sleeved up so that I have tournament decks, but then if I have decks that people are more casual, and that I can play into it. So this would fall more into that casual spot. Okay, so he's put Luke on there. We're really worried about Luke too much. I mean, we could get rid of it with the barrage. We could develop the board with a long pike, and we could play a smuggler's aid. Let's go with the maul for now. It'll give us quite a good barrage target. So favorite card from Shadows is Rickety Quad Jumper. No, I did play Twin Suns the other night, and I had what did I have on the Rickety Quad Jumper? I had I was playing a Poe slash Finn Twin Suns, where you can defeat the upgrade. All right, let's drop Snoke out here. We'll run over the top of layer and then pass. No, it's not my favorite card. My favorite card is actually in my hand at the moment. More serious guess is Endless Legions. No, I do like Endless Legions, but that's not the card. All right. Okay, so this game should be finished. All right, so we moved to 3-1. Our only loss being the Snoke that got us with a maul over the top.
Hello there.
Thrawn 1 yellow is a casual deck, is it, Kieran? Making your opponent suffer in terms of like revealing a card and then also getting all your stuff tapped. GI5 red has been the go. GI5 is good in limited. All right, we'll keep here. Pershing, huh? Yeah, Pershing is my favorite card out of all the sets. All right, so Piet. I don't think we'll get a chance to Piet to survive that long. All right, let's put Inferno on the bottom. We'll put Pershing. We're after ramp here. Yeah, when they spoiled Pershing, I was like, after playing Iden Green so much in set 1, I was like, yeah, this is the card for me. Especially when I was used to trying to, like make massive Childsons, so revealing all those blue cards. I'm kind of sad that the Padme effect is only an heroic so far, and because revealing cards, I forget what it's called. It's not plot. It's the other one. That's what basically Charleston did. So, all right, we don't need this resupply here. We'll hit Venestra. All right, yeah, no. So Liam says a few favorite things have come out of Shadows. Actually, yeah, a lot of people complained about the power of sets. I've got a feeling we're going to be done by Ahsoka here, because he's going to want to bounce Ahsoka. I think that's fine. We'll just pitch the Scimitar because I want to no glory the Ahsoka here. So Liam said Gar is his favourite leader. My favourite interaction is ambushing Fan Rao with legal authority. Favourite card of all time mechanically is Crosshair. Yeah, it's a shame that they didn't do more with cards like Crosshair, because they're kind of staples in Magic. When I used to play Magic in the 90s, it was uh, Tim the Sorcerer, is what we used to call him, but it was a Prodigal Sorcerer, I think it was. And it was just like that little unit that. All right, so he's going to. All right, well, let's Smuggler's Aid then. And this is going to turn Anakin on. Prodigal Sorcerer was the magic card, and it was a little 1/1, and then you could tap it and deal 1 damage to target creature or player. All right, so let's claim. So Kieran says swinging for ungodly amounts damage with set 5 Zuckers. That's cool. I haven't seen anyone use set 5 Zuckers yet. All right, let's get rid of the Inferno. Do we just Vader in here to clear? Or we could 3. No, that's not enough. All right, let's bring the Vader in. Probably could have kept the shield on Vader then. All right, so let's claim. He might drop Plo Koon back to his hand. All Things Fade says Ixodor from Onslaught, but that's because I read the books. Yeah, that is probably after my time in Magic. I don't think we need any more card draw here. Oh, hit his base for 9. We have to be careful for a cunning here. All right, so he's going to bounce. All right, so I think we just maul the bouncer. I'll kind of make him have to do something with Qui-Gon. Otherwise, we're going to have a massive maul here. So yeah, I was looking at the results and I was kind of wondering where the Yodas were. Like that's... Actually, I might keep the regional because it can help trying to stop a cunning. All right, so we do have the Vader combo. We can hit for 10. I can just hit Qui-Gon here and see what our opponent plays. Just worried about getting done by a cunning here. All right, we'll drop a Snoke. Thing with ECL, I'm so used to being playing Data Vault decks that you have to really watch your health here. A lot of Boba Green. Data Vault has been winning quite a lot of games recently too. All right, I don't think we need 2 Scimitars. Scimitar's good off the timely as well. We might get bounced or something here. All Things Fade says Onslaught might have been early 2000s. Okay. We kind of need to hit kind of timely in the scimitar here. All right, he's going to bounce. Let's say Bodhi Rook. Stop him playing it back out. All right, we'll hit the base. All right, Anakin is good. We've got a big overwhelm for Maul here too. So the Canberra PQ looks like it's going to have a strong amount of numbers too, which is very good. I think it's up to like this afternoon it was 43, and they kind of put last calls out for early birds. So you probably at least hopefully get another 5, 10, 15 people. Would be really good. All right, we got the Qui-Gon. It'll take it to like a sort of a mid-50s PQ would be good. Good numbers, especially for Canberra.
Hello there.
Because it is cold down there. And then the Onyx one, to answer Kieran earlier on, I'll be sticking around for the Sunday tournament. So the Sunday tournament is one of those tournaments where it's limited leaders you can pick from. So Rob set it up so that the leaders that not many people pick, like Trench, Finn, Holdo, those type of leaders, you play in it, and you also, I think you win a showcase of that leader if you finish the highest with that particular leader. So look out for me trying to practice with those leaders. All right, so we're going to go that way so we can power. Yeah, we'll power this turn. Scimitar if we need to next turn. Yeah. All right, we'll claim. Would have been nice to get out Krennic with a ramp that turn, but we didn't get it. Australia and cold do not go together. Yeah, well, I was in Vegas and it was 40 degrees every single day, and then I come back to like torrential rain and that as well. So it's been a shock from being in Vegas anyway. All right, I've got the Smuggler's Aid here. Got the Scimitar. The Smuggler's Aid will enable. No, I think the Scimitar is the better play here. This is quite aggressive, this Cal Kestis. All right, so let's claim. Don't think we need the Death Trooper. All right, so we can do 3 there, 2 there. Do 2 there. I think you take a lot on the Krennic. That Scimitar's hitting for a lot. Okay. All right, let's deploy Krennic. That way when Cal attacks, we can tap the Pershing. This is my casual deck, 350 USD on TCG. This deck here, the Krennic one. Yeah. It's the Vaders, the Anakins, Snokes, only one Avenger. Yeah. Well, I have been playing since set 1, and I've just made sure I've collected everything and not got rid of it, basically. Made sure I had a play set so that whatever happens, I can always like pick up those decks. All right, so surprise strike. Okay, so let's hit him with Krennic while we can. We do have Smuggler's Aid and we do have an Anakin here. And we can ECL Anakin. If you place something on the ground, we can ECL Anakin, kill the Falcon, and hopefully kill what's on the ground. Yeah. All right. So we then move to 5-1. But Liam doesn't own any Snokes. Well, Snokes is the best card. Like another one of my favorite cards, especially the
Hello there.
Snokes that I was able to get at Worlds. Like I had a mission and to get a play sets of the few of the cards there. One was obviously the Rays, and then the other twos was 3 Super Laser Blasts and 3 Snokes. It's very hard to play hard control at the moment though, because there is so much Boba Data Vault around in tournaments, online. It is rough. All right, so whatever we play Pershing, he's going to trade up to it. So I think the Death Trooper is good. Piet, Inferno 4 can go. Right, so we'll claim. One good thing about Krennic here is that, yes, he's going to be able to trade up, but because of Krennic's passive ability, we're going to put 1 damage on Pershing. It's going to pop that shield. What's the other option here? We could... Let's just keep him off the force, actually. So, yeah, we would have had 1 damage. So it would have popped the shield. Let's pass. All right, we got Smuggler's Aid, which is good. Let's get rid of a barrage there. Liam only just got the first crate too. Yeah, crates. I don't even know if they're going to print a card like crate again. It's great for finishing games and that out. But yeah, it's... I would love a card like that in blue. And I could play double blue and that there. Okay. So he plays Force Lightning to turn on his Anakin. All right, so we'll resupply it. We'll drop Krennic out, then pass. Have I tried this shell with Asajj from yet? No, I haven't tried it specifically with Asajj. Alright, let's see what we draw first. Asajj is good with the piloting and those kind of ping type things. It's not... I've linked in the description of this video a talk from the guy that built this deck and ran it at Worlds, and explains quite a few things of why he's done certain stuff. So, yeah. All right, so what can we do here? We really need to get rid of this Ki-Adi-Mundi. We're going to hit for 5, so we can do 2 there. We can do 3 over there. Yeah, so the Asajj is good with pilots. I think if you run Asajj, you also want to run stuff like Bogdo is really good, given that you can put the 1 damage and that on it. All right, we'll pass. We'll probably get done by, if we get a worse call here is an Anakin, because it'll potentially double clear. I know he doesn't have any heroics yet. He'll only single clear. All right, so let's draw. We can then maul this Anakin here. Maul hits hard like that. That's 8 hitting for now. Like if I have a barrage here, we will hit 8 over the top anyway. I'm assuming he's got an Anakin, not Anakin, a Luke. So if we play a Snoke, we will kill the Jedi Starfighter, but he will kill our play there. So what are the other options? We could Smuggler for 3. Smuggle for 3. No, I think I'm fine with that because I can open up with a power next turn. So if he plays his Luke out here, we can power it back. But we are forcing him to have it. He's got 4 cards in his hand. And we've still got our ECL up here. Oh, he didn't have it. So we'll claim. Sometimes you got to force it. Liam says, if I want a bit of fun, try Sarge Red. Get her in the Banshee. Then play Trench. Run for 3. Wow. Yeah. I've had some big hits with a Sarge. I think when I first started this channel in Jump the Lightspeed, I was actually playing a Sarge quite a bit. Okay. I think we just power here. And then we can play a Long Pike or we can play a Smuggler's Aid here. I think I like doing that and then playing the Smuggler's Aid because then it's just going to turn our on our Anakin now. All right, where are we? Okay, we've got a Yaddle. We'll probably run into the Yaddle just because I don't want him to get an easy force throw there. All right, we'll play Long Pike out. Let's just barrage that away. All right, some stage we're going to have to put some serious damage towards the base here. Yeah. So that is one where we could Vader in for that. Like we could put a shield on the crate, put a shield on the Long Pike. Ambush the Vader in. That will give a shield there and a shield to the crate. We'll trigger the ambush. You'll hit the Vader. Okay, so we'll drop a Governor and we'll say another crate. And then we'll drop the Pershing as well. All right. So Liam says he managed to swing for 17 or 18 with her. Yeah. You can get the grit right up on a ship and then have her on it. It's a lot of damage. All right, we'll keep pushing. All right, we'll draw a card. We'll hit the governor so that we can get a little bit of extra damage. Right, I think we just no glory and then we play a Gideon out here. All right. Do manage to get the win against the Anakin there. Move to 6-1. All right.
Hello there.
Let's see where we're at now. Okay. All right, so we're back at this Cal Red. So if you're interested in Cal Red, there is a article on it because I think it was made popular by a New Zealand player who won a recent tournament with it down New Zealand. And it's on the Late Night Gaming channel. And they have a series of off-meta decks and they interview people about it. So recently they had a double green Rex, and that was Rage up in Brisbane, gave that talk. And then the Cal Red one was from New Zealand. All right, so just got a comment on one of the other videos. We'll talk a little bit about it while we're waiting here. Do we need timelies? Timelies is good for this particular matchup. All right, we'll get rid of them all. So the comment was left on the beating Quinlan deck strategy that I put up there. And he's asked, how do we deal with Sabine and how do we deal with space aggro? Okay, let's play the technician out here. He's not going to get the force with that one. So Sabine when you're playing Yoda. I'll get rid of Inferno there. So let's think about Sabine. Sabine is an aggression deck. So the way you beat it is, and there were some changes that I put into the deck to allow us to beat it. And one of those was, hang on, let me just play this part out here. Can we just power the red 3 there? So one of the ways you beat it was on ground having the saber on something like a sage was pretty powerful. And then on Sabine specifically, you need to get a decent You're My Only Hope off. Is probably one of the bigger keys there. So being able to cheat out a Poe. I beat Clint the week on one of our games when turn 2. Oh, sorry, I clicked on the wrong unit then. I thought it was to attack. All right, so we'll just hit the base for 1. Messed up a little bit on that one. So one of the ways was that I got an early Poe out, and I was able to just out aggro him basically. But the other ones is on the 5th resource turn, being able to cheat something like a Luke out as well. So I will be creating a video for that. Now we've got Piet out here, so what we can do with that is ambush in. So let's draw a card first. Oh, we got Vader too. Well, we're not even going to be able to, we don't even have to use ECL. So I will create a video on the how to beat space aggro and how to beat Sabine with Yoda as well. But the next one will be CAD first, and then I will look at those other ones. Space with Yoda, it just depends on the type of space. Like Beta Yellow is very different from versing a Boba Data Vault. So I think those ones will probably have to be separate topics. So what did he do? Choose an exhaust. Well, you can have the Piet there. All right, so let's make Piet a little bit stronger as well. All right, so he's going to hit me for 1, 2, 3, a couple there. So let's Smuggler's Aid and drop the TIE fighter there. Yeah, so there's a very different approaches to defeating a wide space versus a vertical space. Okay, well, we can take out the K2SO. Those Smuggler's Aids are actually pretty handy. Like it enables Anakin and gives you that little heal as well. So that is pretty good. Timothy Chapman says, "What's up? Hey Inferno, what's up?" Not much, just practicing with a few different decks. It's always good to get some practice using decks that maybe your opponents will use. Krennic, I have got a showcase for, so I always like playing Krennic, and that as well as one of my favorite leaders from Spark. And that, like Iden, obviously, top one, and then Han was really fun as well. All right, let's just drop an Avenger here, and that should be the it for that one. It was one of the best limited leaders for sure in Spark too. Just that passive 1 damage is so good. And then this week we'll be practicing for a PQ on the weekend. So I'll be going to Adelaide, and then it'll most likely be Yoda, I think, next weekend, given no other Yodas have won a PQ yet. So I would be happy if I could add to it, but I'm going with my teammates, and we're going to be trying to qualify some more people. So I won't be conceding in Swiss, but if I meet him in top 8, I will be conceding. But Liam says, in your Yoda Red, would you consider a fine edition instead of Power of the Dark Side? I don't run Power of the Dark Side in Yoda Red. Some people do to get the Anakin, but I don't even run Anakin. Feels like you have enough removal. There's plenty of upgrades around. Yeah. No, I don't run Power. Yeah, some people do. All right, a Power of the Dark Side would be nice here. All right, so let's draw with Pershing, and then we can drop a Technician. All right, he looks at the card, but he didn't play it. All right, so this is going to be another one of those aggressive style decks. All right, I think we can run Technician into Ezra. We can drop Krennic out. Ping Krennic with Pershing. And then barrage the rest of his board here. Yeah, and any so you're saying a fine edition. So fine edition, what is that? Is blue black, I assume. Fine edition. So it is a 0 cost. Costs you 1 less. I can spell it. Edition. Yeah, zero cost. Yeah, and sometimes relevant as well. If your only intent is to enable the force throw, enable Anakin, that's a pretty good one because, as you're saying, it's zero cost, so it really helps with the. Okay, so I think that's changed the plan a little bit here because I can hit into Ezra. I can no glory Yoda. We still need an Anakin or something here. Not Anakin, a Vader would be really good. We don't need all those scimitars. If he hits Krennic here, I think I'll run Pershing in and just keep the lane clear. Yeah, so Briggs Force Throw could come up as a 2-cost way to grab a lightsaber. Yeah. When you need it from the Kylo discard or something. Yeah, yeah. That's true. Definitely worth trying out. There is a Yoda build that I had that ran the Anakins. I think it ran Force Lightning or something. All right, so we'll power here for that one. If he claims, we'll drop the Super Laser Tech. But if he drops something out and wants to play Han, we'll just sit on it. So I played a lot of Han in set 1, but then when I won the very first showdown that we had in New South Wales here with Han. All right, so he's blue, so I'm going to actually keep the Smuggler's Aid in hand for the eventual force throw. So yeah, I ran Han green, and I was running like the U-Wing kind of list. And so I won the first one. Then a lot of people started running it, so that's when I switched to Iden. Okay, so I think we just power here. He may Anakin here. Let's see what's in his discard. There's no villainy ones. If they ever ban Force Throw, this is the deck here that I think will be really good. Okay, so I can hit in, play Smuggler's Aid. I think I can afford to do that, right? All right. Okay, so we are at Avenger time. And our ECL is still up. With the Vader in hand as well. We must be getting towards more spoiler season soon. I'm waiting to start seeing some of the new cards. It's going to be a good time. And I'm hoping the prestiges are quite good in that too. Next set, but as I said, I think I might have mentioned it before. Padme will be the first showcase that I'm sort of lined up for. All right, so we can potentially start with a long pike here. That will give us a barrage target as well. He'll kind of need to do something about it. But yeah, as I was saying before, if they ban Force Throw, this is the deck that you want to go towards. All right, so he can return. So he returned Anakin. Okay. So those tranquilities, yeah, you can bring Anakin's back, and then you are dealing with multiple at a time. So this could be a tricky matchup if he gets into that loop. Yeah, I hope Padme gets a good showcase artist. Me too. Yeah. All right, so let's claim. Does he have a villainy? He doesn't have a villainy at the moment. Doesn't have a villainy, so I think we can kill the Yaddle without without going into danger zone with Anakin. So he can only do -3 at the moment. There's still a few PQs going on today, but a lot of them have already happened. Let's have a look at the results while we wait for our opponent. So Han 2's made a bit of a journey back. Anakin, Palp Yellow still hanging around. Boba, Quinlan obviously, and this is interesting. The Sabines coming back and that as well, and then also Kylo Tarkentown. That this just must dodge the matchups, like, because it is weak in certain matchups. And if you can pick the meta, it seems, yeah, like a good deck, but it's not for me, that one. Okay, so we can just timely in the Vader, I guess. Or do we can timely in the Snoke, actually. No, that won't work because you'll be able to Anakin it the next turn. All right, so now we'll drop the tie as well. All right, can Anakin do twice? No. I wonder what that last card is that he's got in his hand. He's had it for quite a while. Let's see. Tora plays Surprise Strike. Okay. We can timely in the Snoke here. All right. Yeah, this would be an interesting deck without Force Throws, but to be honest, I haven't Force Thrown him, and yeah, he hasn't been able to put any of the villainy cards in there, because the idea is that you ramp up first turn, put a villainy in your smuggle row, and then you take it out when you're destroying resources with Han. All right, so we moved to 8-1, and we are now at the final game for this Krennic set. Let's see if we can make it 9-1. Our only loss was that Snoke one, and it was kind of a misplay when I didn't put the shield on the Super Laser Technician versus, yeah, and that allowed him to maul in for the victory. All right, so we'll keep. We don't need Long Pike. And what's better, a Governor or an Inferno? Let's go Inferno. We're going to try and get a... What we want to try and get is some ramp and that here. So that we can kind of negate their big play. All right, let's put the ramp on top, put that one on bottom. And then pass. Okay. All right, we'll put Piet on the bottom there. Let's see if he hits the Inferno. He does not. All right, so let's resupply up. Let's see. Sometimes in person they will make mistakes against Krennic as well. Like, let's say he played a 2-drop and then he damaged the Inferno. like that, and then I can just run it into the A wing. So that was obviously a mistake. Like, yeah, they're not used to playing Krennic at all. Yeah, so they're the tournament results here. A couple of Sabine ECLs, which is interesting. Akira won a 57 player one, and a Poe Data Vault won a 113 player one. So that looks pretty interesting. Right, we're still waiting for our opponent here. All right, so we pass. Okay, we don't need two Gideons. We still want to keep our ACL for a Vader, I think. Yeah, Salim says he won a showdown because the opponent didn't count for the extra damage. Yeah. One of the reasons I absolutely love playing Saxon Gauntlet and Guard. Nobody expects the 4 power. Exactly. All right, so let's deploy Krennic. Do we play the Long Pike or the Gideon? I don't think it matters too much between the two. Right, we'll get that little bit of a heal in. All right, we can ECL Vader in if we need to now. You'll probably have to Long Pike into, not Long Pike, Plo Koon into Long Pike here. He's yet to kill this Inferno too. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, he looked at the hand and said, "That's it, that's it." All right, so we did finish 9-1 with Krennic. So that is the list here. So I'll drop it in the chat again once more. I'll try and reduce the font on that chat next time. I think it's a bit too big. But yeah, it's a decent deck. I think we could have went 10-0 if I hadn't have misplayed on the Snoke game. If I had taken into account that my opponent could have had more, that where we could have went 10-0 with that. So I think it's a really decent list. It finished 37th in Galactics. And yeah, it has a lot of play into a lot of different things. So, all right. And then, yeah, let's have a quick look at this Poe Dameron Data Vault and see, like, how it won. Deck list is being generated. All right. Let's click down here. So what did it beat? It beat a pre-Vizsla. Okay. Han Solo Blue at 1. Boba Data Vault, a beat. Another Boba Data Vault. A Kazuda Red. ID'd the next 2 rounds. And then Bean Bench. And you can't see what these are. Bean Bench, then Justin. Yeah. All right, so we have to go back and see what they're running here. I don't know why it doesn't show the deck list there. There it does there. So it beat in the final a Quinlan Voss, Sabine ECL. It won 2-0. And then it won another Quinlan Voss. So very interesting, that deck list. Let's copy that to clipboard and we can add it to our list of decks to try out. Right. So there it is there. Let's have a look and see what's special about this deck. Because you don't often, I think this might be the first Poe win this season. So this is it here. So it's BB8. BB8's really interesting. On, I think it's the Adelphi patrolling, or one of those ones that it can re-ready itself again. So, but yeah, kind of the stuff that you expect, like all space aggro, Cassian, and then Poe and that on the ground. Yeah, interesting that they do have the Yoda's lightsaber as well. So it looks like you go hard space early, and then you potentially transition to the ground. So let's give it a game or two. Not really that experienced at Poe, but we'll turn the score off and
Hello
we'll
there.
have a quick practice. It looks similar to Luke Dartavolt. Yeah, exactly. That's what kind of reminded me. And here we go here. Like it's essentially a mirror. All right, so let's keep. We'll put that away and shouldn't we put four? So we can go A-Wing either into Sabine's Masterpiece or put Chewbacca on there. Let's try that. We'll go heavy space. We do have the initiative, so all right, let's drop the A-Wing. All right, so we can claim we'll run into the Y-Wing and then drop the Masterpiece. Oh, no, we're not. Okay, so could be in trouble if he does put a pilot on it. So we can't do our original plan now. So we'll attach the pilot onto the A-Wing. Right, we'll do 2 to base. Assume we trade here. Like we get a decent trade. If we had to do 1 damage to it. Oh well, okay. We'll get rid of the interceptor there. So a few options here. We can go Masterpiece and put Poe on as a pilot, and then next turn play the patrol wing. This makes it 2-1, right? Yeah. Again, Chewbacca. I don't think we need Chewbacca there anymore. He has to trade here. This will get out of hand if he doesn't trade. We don't have the extra attack at the moment with the patrol wing. I don't think he fought any Luke data bolts. No, he didn't. I assume he's going to run in here and then try and ping with Luke. Is that, or he's going to move it down onto the ground? Which will then be an issue. If only we had an issue. Yeah, no, let's do that. We can attack. We'll give the experience to the masterpiece. It's just you don't get the +2. Like, I'm not sure what he's thinking about. He should. All right, he attacked into base. Okay. All right, so do we just keep going with these patrol wings? This deck would hate to see a traitorous, exactly. Yep. All right, well. Give another experience there. It's going to be kind of a silly game, I think, this one. And probably because he's got the better pilot, will do better, I think. You do 1 damage there, and then you can do 3 with Luke, so I don't think you can kill it. Alright, so let's just claim. We'll have the initiative. We've got the Adelphi Patrol Wing again. This time I'll have +2, so you hit for 10 if he doesn't deal with it. But he's got all his resources and Luke coming out. I don't know why he didn't put Luke on the blue leader. Okay, so he can do 1 damage to it. Yeah, that's. I think he got too greedy. If the Sabine Masterpiece stays, he definitely got too greedy because he could have run that X-Wing in. Job for disabling Fangfighter. Okay. Alright, well, I think what we've learned is these Adelphi Patrol Wings are quite good in this matchup. Yeah, it's only 1 hit now. But yeah, I do not understand why he didn't trade at all. That's what the masterpiece does. If it gets out of hand, if it gets unchecked, it just gets out of hand. So. All right. Okay, so we'll give 1 more go, and then I'll have to jump off. But it seems like an interesting deck.
Hello there.
Ah. It's very hard to tell when you're basically just having mirror matches, though. If we look at his run, he did have like a lot of Bobas, a lot of Sabines. I can see how this deck beats Sabine, because you just go up into space, and what can they do from that? All right, let's mulligan. Let's try and get a black 1. We can get 1, but we got a Falcon. All things fade. I've never had Sabine's Masterpiece last very long in the game. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Especially when you got green mixed in, given the experience. Is it rough for your opponent? All right, let's start with the Interceptor. All right, so we'll claim. Okay, so we've got the Falcon this time, but we can pilot with Poe. We could do that. We could put this Poe on and then play our Y-Wing out. All right, let's try that. We'll pilot out. Let's see if he runs in this time. I think it's more correct for him to run in and ping, because if Luke can get out on a ship. Okay, well, base for 4, and we'll play the Y-Wing out here. We'll see if he trades. If he trades, we can just daring raid this one here. And then next turn play a Falcon, put Poe in it, and then a Delphi straight after. Yeah. All right, let's pass. Okay. All right, I don't really like those Y-Wings in this kind of like space race. All right, so he's just got a 3/4, so we'll play the Falcon and we'll put Poe in as a pilot. If we get another pilot, that Falcon can get quite big. All right, we don't need double heroic sacrifice. See if he's got a pilot here. He's got to be nervous that I will throw another pilot on this. Yep. So what we can do is we can Adelphi. We can take that blue squadron out, but he's going to put Poe on. Luke on. Next turn, if we do that. Nah, I think I like that. I'll put Poe out to the ground. I think this is where you kind of switch to attacking on the ground. So if I can attack with the Falcon, maybe even a heroic sacrifice. Okay, well that's interesting. Why would you not get Luke out? All right, so we're heroic sacrifice. He's going to ping it anyway. We can trench run with this one. And then put Yoda's lightsaber on this one, and then put the A-Wing out too. All right, so trench run. Hit for 4. Does seem look like a pretty well put together deck here. All right, let's put Yoda's lightsaber. We can hit for 7 then with Poe. He needs a confiscate here. He needs something. All right, we'll drop the A-Wing. We'll put the Andor in the row. All right, for those just tuning in, we're finished with the games of Krennic. We went 9-1 tonight. Nelly went 10-0. The link is in the description, and we just had a look at a Poe Dameron that won a very large PQ, and we're just trying it out quickly at the end. 2 mirror matches virtually against Luke here. All right, there we go. All right, well, I will link that one as well in the chat. And yeah, that'll do tonight. So we had somewhat success with the Krennic ECL. 90% win rate is not bad. It's a very cool deck. If you like Anakin, use a Smuggler's Aid to enable him. And yeah, it's a soft control type deck. Pretty aggressive as well for being soft control. So you're not going to go timeout and that. So, all right. Yeah, the Poe deck seems interesting. Not sure I could play it well. Yeah, well, it's some of the lines there are pretty simple against some of the decks. That was kind of like a mirror match, so it's probably not a true reflection of what it's like to play. But yeah, definitely check it out, and I might give that a go next stream. So, all right, thanks.